Welcome to Modern Stoic Insights. Many women are trained to accept weakness as a natural aspect of femininity in today's society. But what if this tale is untrue? What if you could develop qualities that are not gender-specific, but rather based on universal Stoic principles, such as genuine strength, discipline, and control? Imagine living a life in which you have total control over your thoughts, actions, and choices, free from emotion, uncertainty, or outside influences. This is not a dream, rather, it is the path of the Stoic. However, before we can achieve true power, we must address the weaknesses that stand in the way. Let's examine 8 specific areas where many women struggle and how adopting Stoic wisdom can help you overcome them in a world full of distractions, emotional upheaval, and social expectations. Women often struggle with emotional outbursts, the desire for acceptance, and a lack of personal boundaries. These issues are rooted in societal pressures and the disregard for traditional knowledge, and they are fundamentally human rather than just feminine. The Stoic thinkers Marcus Aurelius and Seneca Epicus wrote to everyone looking for help without using any gender-specific agenda. The secret to overcoming the shortcomings that impede development is mastery of self-stoicism, and this is true for both men and women. For example, conquering the 5 feminine vulnerabilities via Stoicism is the first step toward overcoming emotional instability. The Stoic reaction. Emotional instability is one of the most prevalent issues that women deal with, whether it be from personal hardships, the strain of balancing many responsibilities, or cultural expectations. Although the Stoics taught that we cannot control our external circumstances, we can control how we react to them. It might seem like emotions are controlling you instead than the other way around. Marcus Aurelius teaches us that you are in control of your thoughts, not external circumstances. Recognize this, and you'll find power in learning to separate yourself from your feelings and see them rationally so that you can take back control. Recognize that feelings will surface, but that they don't have to control you. Engage in mindfulness exercises. You will eventually become an expert at managing your emotional reactions if you take deep breaths and concentrate on the here and now. The second need is permission, the Stoic reaction. The need to be liked may be overpowering and ultimately disappointing, and the continual search of acceptance can leave you feeling empty and distracted. This is why so many women struggle with seeking validation from others, whether it be via relationships or their careers on social media. The Stoic emphasizes developing an internal sense of self-worth by practicing self-discipline, focusing on personal values, and acting with integrity. By doing so, you strengthen your sense of purpose independent of other people's opinions. Epicus reminds us that what matters is not what happens to you, but how you react to it. Approval is ephemeral, and your worth should never depend on external validation. Third place, overanalyzing and doubting. The Stoic reaction. Women also often deal with the propensity to second-guess and overthink oneself. Self-doubt has the potential to impede growth and impair judgment. The burden of uncertainty may keep you from acting decisively. The Stoics emphasize the idea of living in the present and adhering to our principles. According to Seneca, the biggest hindrance to living is expecting the future and losing the present. Instead than waiting for the ideal opportunity or for all of your uncertainties to go away, act now despite your uncertainty. Have faith that if you connect your activities with intelligence and morality, the result will be that you will eventually get the confidence to make logical judgments without being constrained by uncertainty. Fourth, there are no limits. The Stoic reaction. Women are often conditioned to be nurturers, caretakers, and people-pleasers, sometimes at the expense of their own well-being. burnout, anger, and tiredness may result from failing to establish limits. Marcus Aurelius frequently considered in his meditations the significance of understanding what you can and cannot control. He taught us that Stoicism teaches us that personal boundaries are essential to preserving inner peace. You must safeguard your time and energy, learn to say no when necessary, and prioritize what genuinely aligns with your values. By setting clear boundaries, you regain control over your life and maintain your emotional strength. The fifth fear is rejection. The Stoic reaction Epicurus provides a remedy in his teachings for the common problem of fear of rejection, which may prevent us from following our goals, beginning new initiatives, or being honest with ourselves, particularly when it comes to relationships, careers, or personal endeavors. Instead than describing your ideology, live it out. Rejection is a natural part of life, but it's our connection to the dread of it rather than the rejection itself that hurts. Stoicism teaches us to accept and remain composed in the face of rejection. Our inner strength and capacity for perseverance in the face of difficulty define us, not acceptance or failure from others. Embracing vulnerability is number 6. The Stoic reaction in a society that often acknowledges invulnerability. Many women avoid being vulnerable because they believe it makes them weak or exposed. However, the Stoics saw vulnerability differently. They saw it as being open to learning, development, and connection rather than as being impervious to pain or suffering. According to Seneca, challenges fortify the mind in the same way that physical work strengthens the body. The key to resilience is the capacity to accept vulnerability, which is the ability to recognize your shortcomings and anxieties without letting them control you. Since accepting discomfort and difficulty is how one may really develop, the Stoics did not advocate avoiding suffering or weakness. By allowing oneself to be vulnerable, you make room for genuine connection. Number 7. Striking a balance between compassion and detachment. Vulnerability and bravery in relationships, work, and life demonstrate your character strength and your belief in your capacity to persevere and grow from whatever difficulties you encounter. The Stoic reaction. Although compassion is a virtue, many women have a natural tendency to put others' needs ahead of their own. When compassion isn't balanced with self-care and emotional detachment, it may result in fatigue and resentment. Women are often expected to take care of others, but in order to be strong and balanced, they also need to take care of themselves. The Stoics advocated for moral behavior and compassion, but never at the price of our personal welfare. Being as Epicurus teaches us, things may look to be what you would want them to be, but that is not always the case. When compassion is separated from self-sacrifice, it becomes potent. Stoicism highlights that genuine compassion entails exercising emotional detachment and acknowledging what you can and cannot control, including how other people respond. You don't have to sacrifice your wants to keep your peace and yet be polite to others. Number 8. Overcoming perfectionism. The Stoic reaction. Many women fall into the trap of perfectionism, which may paralyze them and keep them from acting and moving forward. The need to do everything precisely perfectly often results in stress, procrastination, and a feeling that they are never good enough. The Stoic thinkers understood the pointlessness of striving for perfection. According to Marcus Aurelius, you are a part of nature, and what you can do is to accept that perfection is a myth. Rather than aiming for an unachievable ideal, concentrate on progress and the process by acting, no matter how flawed, through constant effort and learning that you develop. You don't have to be flawless, but you do need to keep striving and utilize your resources wisely in order to put these Stoic teachings into practice. When you have an emotional outburst, You should cultivate emotional awareness. To restore calm, stop, think, acknowledge the feeling, and avoid acting on it hastily. Then, utilize deep breathing and grounding exercises. 2. Give up looking for outside affirmation. Turn your attention inside, embrace introspection, and consider what is important to you rather than what other people may think. Have faith in your own principles rather than those of others. 3. When in doubt, follow your gut and keep in mind that inaction begets action. Make tiny intentional progress toward your objective. The more you do, the less uncertainty you'll have. 4. Establish sensible limits. Save your time and effort. Spend time doing things that feed your spirit and fortify your stoic determination. Refuse people or commitments that deplete you. Reframe rejection. 5. Instead of being afraid of rejection, accept it as a chance to learn and develop. Every setback is an opportunity to strengthen your character by conquering these flaws and bringing yourself into line with Stoic ideals. You take charge of your life in ways that transcend just external events. You start creating a disciplined existence, traits of emotional intelligence and wisdom that enable you to flourish in spite of life's obstacles. Remember that Stoicism is a mindset, not a set of rules, that enables you to navigate the complexity of modern life with grace, strength, and an unwavering sense of self-control. By letting go of fear, perfectionism, and external validation, you can unlock your true potential, which is based on inner peace, clarity, and unshakable resilience, rather than on outward appearances. In the end, it is not your weaknesses that define you, but rather how you overcome them. Adopt a Stoic mindset.